Sarge, you have a minute?
Sure, Jerry. Having a little trouble?
Not exactly. I'm just finishing up the report on that accident by Roosevelt School where the pedestrian got hit.
Oh, yeah. That was your first bad one, wasn't it? How you making out?
Okay, I guess. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. You see, the car laid down some skid marks, and I thought I'd take you up on your offer to check me, see if I missed anything. I think we can make a case on this one.
Sure, Jerry. Be glad to. Gave this one the full treatment, didn't you? And these photographs you took at the scene?
That's right. That one shows the skid marks. You can see they lead directly to the wheels of the car.
That's a good start. Positive identification of the car with the skid marks is one of the requirements mentioned in the manual. By the way, did you get a witness who saw the car lay down these marks?
No, but I got a witness who saw the car sitting on the end of them after he heard the screech.
Good enough. Did you establish the beginning of the skid, where each of the four wheels started braking?
Yes, sir. That's one lesson I learned well. First, I viewed the pavement from a low position, looking down the skid marks toward the car. I was working with Sam Freeman that day. I had Sam kneel down at the beginning of the skid. We found the positive part of the skid mark, and then I could faintly see the shadow where the right front wheel started to slide before it got hot enough to smear. Sam ran his finger along the shadow mark. At the beginning of the shadow, I had him stop and make a mark, using a yellow crayon like you said in class.
Did you repeat this little act for each of the four wheels?
Yes, we did, and each time Sam not only marked where the braking began, but he wrote on the pavement the wheel which made each one. You know, whether the shadow was made by the front left or the rear right. After we got all finished locating these shadows, we snapped a few pictures. Then we measured the skid marks.
Now, Jerry, how do you tell the difference between a front and a rear tire from the skid?
I'm not sure, but I suppose the front tires grabbed first.
No, there's a more positive way than that. When the brakes of an automobile are applied, the weight shifts onto the front wheels. Because of this increased weight, the treads of the front tires arch, so that only the shoulders of the tread ride hard on the pavement. You get two narrow parallel marks from each tire instead of one wide smudge.
Huh, you learn something every day. By the way, Sarge, I looked for that polishing and erasing action you talked about, and I couldn't find any.
Maybe there was a reason. What kind of pavement did you have?
Asphaltic concrete.
That explains it. You don't get a polishing or erasing action unless you have dirty concrete. Did you check for burnt-off rubber along the pavement?
Yes, we did. At the beginning of the skid, the rubber was like dust, but further along it was as if the rubber was melted off the tire.
It was. A sliding tire gets that hot.
There were no interruptions in the skid mark, indicating that the braking was continuous the full stopping distance. Obviously, the driver didn't pump his brakes.
Did you measure and record the skid marks?
Yes, we did. They're all on this field sketch. Now, this is the probable path of the pedestrian prior to getting hit.
Why didn't you show the route of the pedestrian?
Pedestrians don't leave skid marks, and you said not to put anything on the field sketch I couldn't see myself. A field sketch can be used as evidence.
Sketch looks okay to me. I see you recorded the location of the skid marks by showing measurements from the curb line. It's good.
I also remembered to check the weather and road surface conditions. The pavement was dry, and there wasn't any gravel or leaves or anything like that. I know these things can influence the normal gripping effect of a skidding tire. I also checked to see if there was any grade or slope. This gave me a chance to use that little template. Well, anyway, the road was almost perfectly level.
Did you make a test skid using the same car at the same place under the same conditions, like it says in the manual?
Sure did, 2 of them. The car was drivable, and the driver had gotten over the shakes, so we let him do the driving. I rode with him, and when we were doing 25, the speed limit, I told him to hit the brakes hard and to hold them to a full stop. He did. We laid down some beautiful burns almost at the exact spot. Sam and I measured the new marks and compared them with the original marks. There was quite a difference.
Good enough. Did the test satisfy the driver that skid marks mean something?
Yes, it did. Especially when I called to his attention that the test skid with his car at the same location at 25 miles per hour, the speed limit, was approximately half the length of the skid he laid down in an effort to avoid the pedestrians.
You called this to his attention?
I sure did.
What'd he say?
Well, the first thing he said was, "I'm a son of a gun," only he didn't say gun. From the way he talked, I'd say he'll probably plead guilty, especially if the pedestrian makes the grade.
He should. If I'm any judge of skid marks, I'd say the man was driving at least 40 miles an hour, possibly 45. And that's much too fast for that location.
Well, that's what I figured, and that's why I did everything the book says.
Well, Jerry, you did a good job. You gathered sufficient information to permit calculation of speed by a qualified person. To be certain he's gathered all the evidence, an officer should have a regular investigation routine, a sort of a mental checkoff list, which might include locate skid marks, protect them from obliteration by passing vehicles, link the skid marks to the vehicle, measure and photograph the skid marks, make a field sketch, locate the skid marks with fixed objects, note influencing conditions such as gravel, leaves, moisture, ice or snow on the pavement, and whether there's any grade. Note the condition of car and driver. Record all information carefully. Whenever possible, make a test skid. With that kind of a systematic accident investigation routine, an officer will be able to prepare a clear and complete report. Like a fingerprint at the scene of a crime, a skid mark at the scene of an accident is most important. It is necessary, therefore, to detect and record skid marks carefully.